esoteric approach. When the philosophers speak of gold and silver from which they extract their matter, are we to suppose that they refer to vulgar gold and silver? By no means vulgar silver and gold are dead, while those of philosophers are full of life. During the Renaissance, alchemy broke into more distant schools, placing spiritual alchemists in high contrast with those working with literal metals and chemicals, while most spiritual alchemists also incorporate elements to esotericism. Example of purely spiritual alchemy can be traced back far as the 16th century, when the Jacob Boyle used alchemical terminology, strictly mystical things. This is evidence to support that some classical alchemical sources were adulterated during the time to give greater weight to spiritual aspects to alchemy. Despite these, other scholars such as Hayyān and Tilton reject this view as entirely historical, inaccurate, driving examples of historical spiritual alchemy covers several philosophical traditions spanning some 4 millennia and 3 continents. These continents' general penchant and cryptic and symbolic language make it hard to trace their mutual influences and genetic relationship. One can distinguish at least 3 major strands which appears to be largely independent, at least in their earlier stage. Chinese alchemy centered in China and its zone of culture influence, Indian alchemy centered around the Indian subcontinent, and Western alchemy, which occurred around the Mediterranean, whose center was shifted over the millennia from the Greco-Roman Egypt to Islamic world. And finally, medieval Europe, Chinese alchemy was closely connected to Taoism, and Indian alchemy with the Dharmic faiths, whereas Western alchemy developed its own psychological system that was largely dependent of influence by various Western religions. It is still open to question whether these 3 strands share a common origin or what extent they influence each other.